Okay,
It's only 5:30.
Let's take a deep breath. Let's chill.
They tell me I'm too young to understand.
Look at Andrew and I dancing. Evening party. Good morning. It's Friday.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry that you had to jump in in the middle of another argument. Another argument.
Lovers quarrel.
Let me tell you something. When somebody and everyone else.
Is Nick frozen? Nick, see, now he's frozen. You're frozen. You're frozen. Turn your phone on Wi-Fi. And you're like blurry today. You're like pixelated. So Andrew, now I'll continue. Good morning, Andrew Bloom in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Good morning.
Okay. What time is it in Scottsdale, Arizona right now?
5:35 a.m.
5:35 a.m. Nick's back, and he's back.
Anyway, hey, for anyone who's watching, when somebody sends you a calendar invite for a show, don't they normally put the link?
Nick, I asked you for a link the other night for the happy hour, and you yelled at me that you had emailed it to me.
I didn't yell at you. I texted you. I was like, I emailed it to you.
Right. All right. We got that.
Andrew, this is how we do things. I didn't yell at you. It was a text message.
Where did he go? Did he just hang up?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, what happened? Andrew. Oh, okay. I wore flowers for Andrew Bloom today. I wore flowers. Here he's back. He's back. We're having some technical.
By the way, Andrew, if you decide to hang up, I don't blame you.
Okay. I learned a lot, though. I loved getting to know him today. I'm going to welcome our guest, Andrew Bloom from Scottsdale, Arizona, BPO luxury team, $186 million in 2019.
That's it? What happened? What happened to 190?
It was bad. It was bad. We were short of our goal, but it's all right. No, it was great. It was a good year. It was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed it.
You know what happens, Andrew? You start to get comfortable with your success, and you start to just lack a little bit.
That's it. That's it.
First of all, I love Andrew, and when I said that he's the nicest guy in real estate, I'm not even kidding. Like the humblest, nicest guy. Like always wants to learn, you know, from whoever can bring value. Like, you know, it's just whenever, like Andrew's the type of guy where like, you just want Andrew to walk around next to you and just constantly say nice things to you. Because that's what he does. Like he just says nice things to everybody. It's amazing. I love it. But I'm glad that you're on the show.
And it's 5:30 in the morning. So
it's 5:30. I love it. And he had to jump in on a call with Caryn and I bickering again, like an old married couple. My wife always says that. She's like, you know, you and Caryn bicker more than we do. I'm like, well, you know, it's just our nature of relationship. By the way, none of it's ever like we're not really ever mad at each other, Andrew.
Of course not. No, it's
let's go back to Andrew. I learned, Andrew, how long have you been with KW?
3 years. Next October will be 3 years. I think it's 3 years.
Yeah, you were with ReMax before that.
20 years in a round room looking for a corner to beat my head against, and I couldn't find it.
What? So tell us I was with ReMax too, and I mean, obviously I don't want to make this like I don't want to be this KW ReMax comparison, but I mean, because when I was a team leader with KW, you know, I had been with the ReMax in my career, and I talked to quite a bit of ReMax agents, and I've said this before. Over the last decade or more, it seems that the model and the culture while the KW model has stayed the same, you know, there's been advances in it, right? But I feel like the ReMax model and culture has not changed. From what I remember.
I don't think the ReMax model or culture has changed, and I don't think the KW model and culture have changed. If you look at Dave Liniger and you look at Gary Keller, and you understand that ReMax is a reflection of Dave Liniger, and Keller Williams is a reflection of Gary Keller. Mm-hmm. You understand their mentalities, their mindsets, their personalities, their values, who they are, what they're all about, right? Dave wanted to build a company for the best agents in the world that never needed coaching and training and could be completely independent, right?
Oh, got it.
right? That was Dave Linegar's philosophy. Was look, we're ReMax, right? We're the best. We're going to only get the best. We're going to have the highest desk fees. We're going to attract the best agents that don't want coaching and training. Well, what I love to tell people about Keller Williams is that most agents out there and believe that Keller Williams is a great coaching and training company for new agents. What they don't realize is that the master level and the PhD level training and coaching is at even a higher level, right? And so and we have this messy in the middle. I think agents do get lost a little bit in the middle, but that's their own drunk monkey, right? But we have a wonderful foundation for new agents within Keller Williams. But if you've been in the business for a long period of time, I was 20 years at ReMax, and then I got introduced to Keller Williams. The light bulb it's just an automatic, oh my gosh, where was this roadmap to success that I've been looking for, right? We're all looking for the X on the treasure map. And,
right.
It exists within Keller Williams. It's like right here, there's 2 books. These are the only books you ever need to read. And this is, if you do this, you're going to have success and you're going to grow. And, it's so taboo at another brokerage to either read these books, let alone follow these models. I took ESO almost 6 years ago as a ReMax agent. And that was my very first introduction to Keller Williams.
Doesn't it teach you, I think it's such a great business class that ESO, it just shows you all the holes in your business is what it really does.
Well, it does. It's the 30,000-foot view, and it spells it all out. And if you've been in the business for any length of time, if you take ESO after being in the business for a long period of time, it all makes sense. It's just whoa, you know what? There's no ambiguity in it or any questions. If you took ESO see, I think all of our growth is sequential. Everything that we do is sequential. If I have a new agent come into my team, they're not taking ESO or career visioning, right? There's no reason for them to. That's just far over their head. They don't even get it. They don't need that.
That's right.
It's this foundational sequential growth that we're all in. Right now, I'm at a point in my career and in my life where I need to start taking OP fundamentals, market center fundamentals, financials. I need to take, franchise systems orientation a couple times, right? So it's sequential. There was no reason for me to do those things beforehand. And people chase these shiny objects because they don't necessarily understand the sequence in which we need to grow in order to have success and to grow. So when I took ESO, it was I walked out of there and said, well, this is simple. I've been doing this to some extent without the right systems and tools and resources. And then I got on an airplane and I flew to Baltimore and took career visioning as a ReMax agent, 30, 60, 90 with a former KW leader who didn't grope me, by the way. And I had a great experience there. And then I got on a plane and I flew to Bellingham and I took career visioning 30, 60, 90 with Ben Kenny as a ReMax agent. And then I took Bold as a ReMax agent. And then I went to Family Reunion as a ReMax agent. And I went to Expansion Systems Orientation Training again as a ReMax agent. I took my business from 40 million to 72 million to 98 million to 160 million to almost 200 million in 5 years, right? Just from implementing the models and the systems that I was learning and growing. And now we took our team, the number 6 team in the world last year for Keller Williams. And how'd that happen? And because we're surrounded by, especially in Gary's group, everybody's growing, everybody's learning. It's an insane amount. It's you feel like you're getting ahead, but you're not really getting anywhere. I mean, everybody's getting ahead, right? It's there's just this massive growth together, and it's a community. My goal when I first got into Keller was to get into Gary's group, and I think for any agent that's been in the business for a while or looking for that goal, what is your big why? If you're not in Gary's group, that should be your big why in the business. Right, because that's the pro league, right? It really is. It's the pro league.
Well, we talked about the MRA. And we mentioned it's a living, breathing, moving object, right? It's a tool. It's not a book.
No, it is like a life living ecosystem. It's an organism, right? So when I look at my team is an ecosystem. It's an organism. It's got all kinds of tentacles and organs within it. I mean, there's so many things going on within the organization and the organizational structure and the organizational map and how you follow things and our opportunity map within our organization. And this thing comes to life, right? I remember 3 years ago in Bellingham, Washington, as a ReMax agent sitting next to Sarah Reynolds. And our job that night was to go back and do our future org chart.
Mm-hmm.
Start with our present org chart and go to our future org chart. And I was like, I've never even done an org chart. I mean, what are you even talking about? Here I'm a ReMax agent. I don't know what you mean.
I'm a realtor.
It's easy, I'm a level 1 agent, 20 years in the business. You look at me, I'm level 1. So Sarah pulled out her org chart and I just started crying at the table. And I'm crying, like literally I have tears coming down my face. I'm bawling my eyes out. Because this vision, you see this light, right? Like there's this light that comes to us when we gain knowledge. And it's just like, and it just hits you, and it's emotional. All of it is emotional, and I'm crying my eyes out. And I went back to my hotel room that night, and I'm working on my future org chart and this stuff, and I'm like, I mean it. And now I run a 7th level business. Like in 3 years, I went from being a team of 6 doing 40 million a year. 5 years ago, I was 6 people doing 40 million a year to 40 people today doing 200 million a year and growing exponentially. To take an agent on my team that started off as an OSA 4 and is now our director of sales, to take my transaction coordinator, moved her to executive assistant, who's now director of operations. I mean, to see the opportunity map and the way that we are able to change lives around us because of our own growth it's emotional. It's gratifying. It gives us clarity and purpose in what we do and who we are and how we benefit other people in our lives and how impactful that is.
Well, and you have a bromance with Nick, right? I mean, that's what
I did come clean to Caryn on that. I mean, there's a lot of people in this world that have a lot of authenticity and transparency and integrity and love and passion. I mean, we're surrounded by it. There's a few that just, stick out in a bed of roses. And I mean,
let me tell you what I found kind of shocking. And I find this shocking because, and it's still something that I'm, trying to realize, and I realize that it's because of our KW mentality and our KW culture of sharing. Like, first of all, I've never done 190 million in sales, like not even close, right? And I'm very transparent about it, right? And I know where my strengths are. Like, was I a good agent? Sure. Like I had teams, we did well, my teams in Michigan and New Jersey, we did, 35 million, which for me is still very good. 117 units in 2 different states. I was running, that expansion model. But the cool thing about it is, like, when I first met Andrew, I think I met him at the Jeff Glover conference in Traverse City for the first time. And he's like, Nick, I just want you to know, like, the stuff that you guys are teaching at Lab Coat Agents, we see all that and we grab it and we run with it and we do it. And when it works, we keep going. And I'm like, what? Like, Andrew Bloom is using things that we're teaching in Lab Coats, right? And he's upwards of 200 million. And I remember, Andrew, you were number 6 last year. You almost were number 5. You got a sandwich instead of a trophy. We had this whole thing about how
sandwich. Only the top 3 get sandwiches.
Oh, only the top 3 get sandwich. What did you get? Like a taco or something? I mean, I prefer taco.
Granola bar.
Oh, you got a wristband.
I got a wristband.
Okay. He got trail mix. But the thing that I love about the company is that, like, someone like me is like, wow, like, that's kind of crazy that Andrew Bloom found value in something that he learned from me. But that's the way our agents, that's the way our minds are taught, right? Like, you can learn from anybody, no matter who they are or what they are.
I think
And that's what I love about Andrew.
Nick, the content is you've taken the models and the systems and you've put them into almost a illustrative, cartoonish implementation. This is what you do. These are best practices, right? Like
Cartoonish is the perfect way to describe it.
And that's how I learn, right? That's my, like, I'm a Tom and Jerry guy. So like for me, if I could just sit and watch Tom and Jerry all day long, it's great. So for me, for watching, you and Tristan, it was like, okay, it's Tristan and Nick, it's Tom and Jerry. And, it's all the same. It's the same systems and models. You were never introducing anything new outside of the fundamentals. It was just how to execute and implement the fundamentals at a high level. And those were what I was grabbing. I was like, oh my gosh, right? These are the resources. These are the tools. And I fell in love with the family. I really did. And I'm blessed and I'm fortunate and I'm honored to be a part of it. And everybody is. It's like there's, the tribes that we formulated, we have, there's just an incredible amount of love and passion and enthusiasm. So that culture that comes from there, right, of genuinely loving and believing in people and wanting everybody to grow and be a part of that ecosystem. It's a much different, right? We talked about ReMax. There's a scarcity mindset and there's an abundance mindset, and those two brands couldn't be polar opposites.
I also find that the availability and the accessibility of our leaders is unparalleled than any other company.
Well, yeah, no doubt about that.
But by the way, Andrew, you were saying, Gary's masterminds, you were saying like that should be every agent's goal. Like maybe it'll never happen for some of them, but the goal should be to work so hard and implement the models and systems, and even if it doesn't happen for you, that's okay. Listen, I have all these goals, and then get into Gary's mastermind. So I would just like to say, sometimes it's not even about your production, because the masterminds are people that Gary wants to be in the same room with, because Gary still gets value from you guys just like you get value from him. And so I've realized that, because today is the second time in the last 2 months that he has asked me to come into the masterminds and teach. So I'm going to be in the masterminds today at 11 o'clock. Yeah. And I was in the masterminds a couple months ago. And so it's not just about how much production you're doing. If you're providing value to agents and he sees that and he's getting value, he'll let you in. Maybe not every time, but he'll let you in.
I think it comes down to we're the sum of the 5 people we hang out with the most, right? Or the tribe that we're in. So, if you're a newer agent or your production levels are at a certain level, gravitate to the 5 highest people that you can in your world, right? Like, what does that look like, right? Really embrace your team leader. Really embrace the what I love about what Kristen Cole always says is, your mentors don't need to know that they're mentoring you. You don't ever had to meet them, right? You don't need to know them on a personal level. So the idea of, yes, getting into Gary's group for me was a huge goal, and I love being there. The reality of it is that you can be mentored and coached and trained by the best of the best of the best of the best if you just put yourself in that space, right? Whether it's online or virtually or whatever it looks like. So it's like it's a mindset of being around the best people that you can be around.
Well, and I was shocked that our masterminds is today after how much they've worked for Mega Camp, because what do you think of Mega Camp? It was extraordinary experience. I thought it was amazing how it all worked out.
Yeah, I think that the behind the scenes and the kind of effort that goes in at KWRI, there's so much respect with Josh, team, and Gary and what everybody's doing back there. And, Jay, Papasan, and these guys, they just find another gear, right? They just find another gear and they elevate to such a high level to deliver content and bring it, it's really pretty special, and it's really, so there is no catch up. Right?
There is no. So before we jump off, because it is a crazy Friday, as I like to say, what does your morning look like? Because you're up at 5:30 looking dapper and sharp, and you seem like you've got some good discipline because you mentioned Orange Theory. So that's outstanding. So thank you for working out for me.
You're welcome. I think one of the things, I haven't had a lot of, I don't want to say, I've got a lot of natural talent, but I've had to be obsessive about my activities and my behavior for a long time. It's just been since I was a young kid. If I wanted to do anything at all in my life, I had to just do it and get it done and eat the frog and, have a routine and a system and habits and behaviors to be really disciplined. And to me, discipline was freedom. And that's where I found it, right? It's just, I knew that at an early age, I was very independent and I had to do my own thing. And, I was in foster care till I was 14 and then homeless till I was 18. So I've had to have structure in my life in order to get anywhere. Otherwise I was just going to be roadkill.
Yeah, Andrew, I was going to bring that up just now because I was reading your bio and I didn't know that about you. And, your mother suffered from clinical depression. And I thought that was really great that you actually put that in your bio on your website. Like not a lot of agents would do that. And somebody who's as successful and visible as you in the company and in your market, to put that in writing in a bio, I respect that because I put that in writing all the time on Facebook because I think it's really important. And I think it's a lesson for a lot of people to learn, right? Like you essentially didn't have any parental units to raise you.
Oh, there was no structure and there was no discipline. And I think, so that's where, for me, my number one core value is efficiency. And so in order for me to, compensate or overcompensate for having a lack of structure and discipline, I've just had to be obsessed with my habits, right? And so, it's atomic habits, right? It's just, that's what it's all about. And it's the compound effect of our activities and our behaviors and what we're doing that manifests itself into greatness. So yes, you put it out there and you put it out there in the universe and
yeah,
here we are.
Well, so for people who may be struggling and going through similar things, you said you were homeless at 18. When did you how did you start to bring that all together over time?
Yeah, well, I was homeless at 14. So I was in foster care till I was 14. I went into foster care at 11. And how I brought it in together was, being obsessed with accomplishing the things in my life that I needed to accomplish. But that came from an early childhood where if I wanted to eat or if I wanted to go to school or if I wanted to get dressed, I had to do it myself. I had to be obsessed with what I was doing no matter what. And so you just become a maniac on a mission with a purpose. And I think if you're struggling right now, then you got to look at one of the best things, read Fanatical Prospecting and then read it again. Read Grant Cardone 10X. And when you take Fanatical Prospecting and you take Grant Cardone and you mix it together and you've got passion and love that creates this anger, this enthusiasm, this drive that, oh my gosh, here's what I got to do. Kick yourself. That's what you need is a shot of adrenaline, right? And that shot of adrenaline is 10X your activities, 10X what you're doing, so combine that. And I tell you, if Fanatical Prospecting and the compound effect and some of these other, resources that we have to get into your head and go, okay, look, if I'm really, really, really good at one thing, I'm going to 10X that one thing.
Well, and Josh talked about that with losing 50% of your database because the loyalty rate has dropped so low, especially during a pandemic. And so it is 10X, especially moving forward through into 2021. And I love your background and your story because I have a serious concern for people, especially in winter in Chicago, going into depression with COVID, right? And when they can't get outdoors and they can't go be active and they can't go do things too. Like this is a time to really make those care calls and check in with them.
Well, also, Andrew, this is a great, if you read Fanatical Prospecting, you got to read Objections. Yeah. Have you read this one?
No.
This is the newer one. And this is the one after Fanatical Prospecting. Yeah, it's great. And by the way, every team leader should read this too, because it talks about the psychology behind why people say no. And so I think it's great.
I love Objections because it means they're still interested. And people forget about that. They think an objection literally is like, I'm not interested. Well, if they weren't interested, they would say, I'm not interested. If they keep giving you objections, it's because they want more information.
Well, in the way we coach it on our team, there are no objections. There's only concerns, right? So let's just deal with the concerns.
True. And if someone's giving you an objection, it just means
they're interested.
Yeah, they're just challenging you. They're not ready at that specific moment. Like, they're trying to get you to, essentially, give them a reason. So, and it means that, yeah, like you said, they're still interested. If they weren't interested, they wouldn't still be asking questions.
It's a wall.
Basically what I just said, like a minute and 20.
Yeah, I'm repeating what you just said because it was brilliant.
I know, but I like it that you had to make it your own and like pretend that you were saying.
But I was just, letting you know how amazing it sounded when you said it.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew's like, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm not ready for this.
I'm always ready. I'm always ready for this.
So what's your day look like, Andrew? Because I know you probably have to go your visit. I'm sure like
you probably look like Nick. This is it. My name is Andrew Bloom and I am bold. I'm a loving husband. I'm a great dad and I'm a successful real estate professional. I'm energetic, honest, and disciplined. I treat people with respect and compassion. I'm healthy, I'm happy, and I am generous. I will commit each day to doing my personal best and to bring passion and integrity to each of my relationships. I have gratitude for all people and things around me. I am the best at what I do, and each day I look for ways to improve who I am so I can benefit others. My success is not an accident. My actions are intentional. My relationships are real. I'm Andrew Bloom, and I am number one. Yes!
Whoa!
So that's how my day
starts. That was
it, dude.
Hey. Tears in my eyes. That was so awesome. I'm going to have to watch that over and over and over again. I mean, that was so, can you do that again? Louder. No, for real. Like, I want everyone to listen and pay attention.
Just rewind it. Don't make them do it again.
I'm a loving husband. I'm a great dad, and I'm a successful real estate professional. Want me to keep going?
I love that you put that first. Real estate professional was last. Loving husband, great dad is first. That's how it should be.
It should be. And I am a loving husband and I am a great dad. And life's not always perfect. I'm not always the best. I'm not always the best at everything I can be, but it's just manifesting that positivity. And so yes, my affirmation is important. My daily habits and routines are important. My morning, going to bed early is important, right? I was in bed at 8:15 last night, so I could get up at 4:30 this morning and join you guys. And yeah,
that was awesome.
That was amazing. Oh my gosh, I want to like eat you up and get inside your brain because you are probably a joy to spend time with.
Oh, thanks, Caryn. I appreciate
a lot of fun.
That means everything to me, and I'd be happy to come back and dive deeper on any of this stuff.
You're hired. You're hired. You want to come? I just told David Voorhees yesterday on something. We were masterminding while we were waiting to go like on behind the screens, and Gary was out there. So all of us were just masterminding, and actually that became one of my favorite mega camp experiences. Is us just sharing strategies and tips and stuff. And David Voorhees, I said, oh my God, thank you for volunteering. So you're going to come to Chicago in February. It's amazing. Chicago's amazing. So Andrew, I love that you just volunteered to come to Chicago. February is a good time for someone from Scottsdale. Like that sounds awesome.
I think Chicago in March or April is probably a little nicer than February.
Yeah, it is. It is. Actually, today's perfect. I'm going downtown to the city with a friend of mine today. It's simply beautiful outside. So I can't wait to take advantage of it. But all right, Andrew Bloom, you're amazing. BVO Luxury Group at KW. Your website's awesome. Your team is gorgeous. I looked at your whole website, everything, and the houses. I mean, you literally you don't hire. I mean, you hire really good looking people. All right.
I don't think anybody's not good looking.
No. But
thank you so much, Andrew.
Super sure. All right, Andrew Bloom, come back and see us. I'm grateful for you. What a blessing to meet you today. You're awesome. One of my favorite.
Thanks for waking up with us.
You nailed it with this guy today. You did.
I mean, I try. Maybe give me another chance to book someone else. I know people.
Well, I like to work the schedule out. Okay, Andrew.
Bye.
Awesome.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, everybody.